the next speaker from the favor side, Ms. Zareen.
You muted yourself.
Ms. Zareen, can you unmute yourself, please?
Okay. Thank you, moderator, for giving me the opportunity to talk. Now I'm talking about today's topic, which is marriage is a barrier for the career. Well, my dear opponent talk about responsibilities when they get married, but the thing is, can we get responsible when we are not married? Like a human can be responsible when she or he is maintaining a family by herself or himself, or they need to take their career to the next level. They have to be responsible. So it's not really that much mandatory to be responsible, to get married, to be responsible. Well, my dear opponent talk about financial support when they get married. Well, if we are worthy enough, I think it's not really mandatory to be married to financially support my own family. I can do that by myself if I am worthy. Well, also they talk about that jealousy is something is not always really important or essential. Well, in some cases, jealousy definitely worse things that much that it results in divorce. In some cases, definitely. And also they talk about the depression things. Well, I would say we can share our depressions, frustrations with our family and friends, and we can relieve all those things. We can relieve stressors by talking to our family, definitely. Well, the world is definitely changing, and there is an unprecedented emphasis on career, which requires higher studies. So, for in some cases, the major issue comes when it comes to the point of higher studies. Well, sometimes you need to go to abroad for higher studies.
Last 10 seconds, Ms. Zareen.
And if you get an opportunity to study in some country, but it happened that your spouse might get an opportunity from another country, then it will be a great problem for both of you to manage the thing.
Thank you, Ms. Zareen. Thank you.
Thank you, my moderator.
Okay, so now the second debater from the opposition side, Mr. Labib Ahmed. I'll give you the floor now.
Okay, so good afternoon, everybody, moderator and the listener. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak on the favor of the statement that marriage is not the barrier of the career. Okay, so if I want to start with, I would like to say from the scientific way, when a person's age actually proliferates, the fertility rate decreases at the same time. So if someone is trying to do PhD and with the age of 35 or more than that, regardless of his or her gender, he will have some problem in his or her productivity issue. I can give the example of a country called Japan, because in the Japanese society, most of the people, they like to do their PhD degree or to obtain a doctorate degree before his or her marriage. So it literally ruining the entire demographical and population of, what should I say, the augmentation in the entire country. As a result, we can see in the year of 2011 or 2012, the population of Japan used to be like 14 crore or 15 crore. Now it has been decreased into somewhere around 10 to 11 crore. So it is impacting huge on the entire economy. At the same time, I would like to say that, yeah, there was a question about responsibility and the question about hampering of the studies. So from our early elementary level, most of the students, they are not married from that level. So we can still just say that observe that most of the students, they're not doing well in their education, if it's a vocational one or the academic one, it whatever it is. So most of the students or the learners, they try to uh, like depend on the teachers teaching instead of their own personal endeavors and efforts, what they need to put and focus into their studies. It's not, it doesn't have anything to do with the relationship, because
Thank you, Mr. Labib. Last 10 seconds.
okay, oh, it has to do nothing about the relationship or the bondage, because if someone is doing well at his studies, he is not getting distracted by the relationship. If someone is doing good at something, he will do good, he will continue to
Thank you,
be
Mr. Labib. That was
uh,
really wonderful.
okay.
Okay, so now let's call the third debater from the favor side, Mr. Preetham Raha.
Okay.
Yes, Mr. Preetham.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, the respected moderator, for giving me chance for speaking on the topic, that is, marriage is a barrier for career. Yes, marriage is a major hurdle for the career because of the shared priority and shared time. First of all, single person has the much more option to focus career dedicatedly and without getting distracted. But a married person doesn't have the time to focus dedicatedly because he has to maintain his career as well as his family as well. Therefore, resulting ended up both ends. That is, you are losing on the both sides, as we can't manage two things efficiently at the same time. And in addition to this, my dear opponent member also agreed with this point, that is, marriage is a barrier for the career, because he said that the example of Japan, okay, we know that in 1945 Japan got almost ruined by the USA. Then after 75 years, right in 2021, Japan is one of the developed countries in the world, and the reason is provided by my dear learned opponent member. He said Japanese are more productive because they are not getting involved in marriage in their early stage of their life, resulting they're the most one of the developed nations in the world. So, friends, you are also agreeing that yes, marriage is a barrier for our career, and I also think that marriage is a major barrier for our career. So, without further arguing, please agree with us and maintain that marriage is a great barrier for our career. So, if you want to proliferate your career, don't get married early of the age. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Preetham Rao. That was a wonderful speech. Okay, so now the third candidate from the opposition side, Ms. Rubaiya Hall.
Yes. Hello, dear everyone. Thanks to the honorable moderator to giving me a chance to speak. Today our topic is marriage is a barrier for career, but no, definitely not. Marriage isn't a barrier for the career. I'm saying this because after marriage, you will see equal responsibility in each other. They will act like a team. So this will help in their career. Not this will not ruin their career. So after that, we can grow our greater patience and greater ambitions, and now we can also develop better people skills. Marriage isn't a barrier. Like people can act be their support system. As I have seen my parents, they became their support system for each other. They are both from business background, so I have seen them to help them to develop themselves, not to ruin themselves. And one of my opposition team members said that there can be grow some jealousy between them, but no, I have seen no jealousy. And also we can all see the celebrities who are an example, who can be the example for the marriage couples. So as I have given an example of greater ambition, so after marriage, the people have to develop a high level of understanding to interact with new relations and maintain them in good terms. So naturally, this will build patience in most individuals. I will teach them not to do any conclusions and interact with greater cooperations with others. So it This is very important, and it will ensure the growth and development of an individual in career position. So how can marriage be a barrier in your career? So it is like I would say marriage is a blessing for your career. So it will help them also to deal with their teammates and juniors as they
Thank you,
are
Mr.
like,
Bhaiya. That was really
okay,
good. Thank you, Mr.
thank
Bhaiya.
you. Okay.
Okay. So moving to the next debater from the Fiqh side, I would like to give the floor to Mr. Muhammad Rizwan from the Fiqh side. Yes, Mr. Rizwan.
Thank you, sir. First of all, I would like to thanks our moderator and our supervisor to giving a place to talk about the topic. And our topic is today: marriage is barrier to our good career. I think I would like to say that marriage is indispensable part of our life. However, marriage is also the barrier to our good career, because after marriage we have to maintain so much responsibility and obligation for both men's and women's both. We all actually want to getting a good career, also man and woman. And I think after marriage it's really hard for both of them. I would like to talk the man's perspective, that the men's have to do so much responsibility and obligation to their family and to their spouse. And then after getting so much work done with their outside of the home, like office or their business, they have to maintain their family, and they have to responsible about their family. And they have to do so much thing after that, and that is eventually they can't don't have enough much time to getting their gain their career, and can't have enough time to take their study. And another thing I want to say
Last
now,
10 seconds.
younger people getting relationships, and for those after 2 or 5 years, they getting so much barrier to their life. And that's why our divorce in our country is skyrocketing. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you, Mr. Rizwan. And let's move to the next debater now. From Ms. Progba from the opposition side.
I'm sorry for the interruption. It should be Miss Lisa Akhtar from the opposition side.
Miss Lisa Akhtar. I didn't see Miss Lisa here.
Yeah, she is here. She's on the number 4 on the opposition side.
Yes, Miss Lisa, are you here? Can you hear me?
Yes, I am here.
Please begin with your
Your
logic.
name was not modified. Okay. However, okay, so sorry for the interruption. Now I'd like to give the floor to Miss Lisa Akhtar, okay, from the opposition side.
Okay, thank you, moderator, for giving me an opportunity for saying about marriage is not barrier for our career, because of when a person are married, they make friends together also. So how marriage can a barrier for their life? When a person will get married, he or she got friends, they can make a good decision together, and they can do extraordinary things for their career. Whether a person is single, they cannot take a big decision for their life. They feel confusion for what should they can do. They can make any big decision for their career whenever they are married together. When they get a job, they can do it confidently for their partner, because their partner's inspiration is so much need for a life, for anyone's life. If someone make best friend always inspiration each other, and so it can make a big thing for their career. I'm pretty sure about that marriage is not barrier. Yeah, it's an example for about my life, that my husband always inspire me for higher education. And about my career, whenever I am getting tensed for COVID-19 situation, he always inspiration me that not give up my confidence, and always inspire me. And my in-laws always inspire me for my career, that you can you should take a higher education, and you should go abroad, and you should get a better job for your life, for your family, your livelihood, and you together can do it. And always my husband inspire me like a way that everyone can get everything, so why you can't? You can get anything for your better career. So when a girl or boy want to go abroad for complete their higher education, if they are married, they can do anything for their higher education. They whenever they are together, they can do better, a better way, whether they are single.
Thank you, Miss Lisa Akhtar. Thank you. It was a wonderful time. Okay, so now I'd like to call the next debater, Miss Nova from the favor side. Miss Nova, I'll give you the floor now.
Yes. Thank you, moderator, for giving me this opportunity to talk about this statement. This is Nova. Today I'm here to talk about the statement, marriage is a great barrier for career. So for our country purposes, the rate of early marriage has not fully decreased. So for that, it's a far behind in terms of our career. So from my real life experience, one of my friends got married when she was only 15. That time she was on 10th standard, and I have to mention that she was very creative and wanted to become a doctor in future. She was in full swing to reach her goal to become a doctor. But after getting married, he didn't concentrate her study and hardly came to school. But finally, she was no longer seen to taking the final SSC examination. So how can it possible to getting a good career for her? So come to us and shake your hands with us and tell us the marriage is a great barrier for our career. So our learner friend from the opposition side tell us some extraordinary facilities about their husband's activities, but I didn't clear about what she meant about that. I want to that's all. Thank you,
Okay,
everyone.
so thank you, Mr. and Miss Nova. Thank you. Okay, now let's move to the next debater. I'd like to give the floor to Miss Progda from the opposition side. Miss Progda.
Thank you, moderator, for giving me this opportunity. So today's topic is marriage is a barrier for a good career. I am not in favor of this, so I am just going to put a backlash into this. According to my opinion, marriage is the beginning, commencement of a family and a lifelong commitment. It is not just the relationship which is by being bonded between two persons. It's the relationship of companionship, passion, and purpose. According to researchers, it has been found out that married men and women are healthier and live longer because they can accumulate more money, and in this way their children can be happier and successful, and eventually they tend to be more successful all the way long run. Overall benefits to the society is obviously significant and of paramount importance. Also, you can think in the way of that the marriages is the building blocks of a social life of an individual person's life, because the partner with whom you are going to spend the rest of your life, they will help you in the hour of need. My opponent party has put out the fact that whenever you are married with a successful and competitive person, there grow jealousy between these couples. But my question to you is that why are you being so much jealousy and competitive? You can take an example of friendship. When you go to a new school, you make friends and you don't know how to cope up with that situation. So you are not being jealous in that situation. So how can you be competitive in this case? Because when a man and woman get married, the two become one and it is a vow. Marriage is a unique bond like no other, and it gives us a life partner, a teammate as we move through challenges of life together. Also, on top of that, marriage supports to defeat temptation by engaging in deep and satisfied life.
Okay, so
Also,
thank you, Ms.
marriage
Progda. Thank you.
Thank you so
It's the end
much.
of your time. So let's move to the next